afternoon. My name is Netta, aka Momma Netta. I am a mother of three. I run my own business, Crafted Blessings. I specialize in creating unique wine glasses and coffee mugs and things of that nature. I'm a minister at our church, Bread of Life Ministries, and our women's fellowship is Women of Integrity. And I just love being part of community discussions in order to try and help others, be their best selves. Amen.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Letayea. I am Netta's oldest daughter. I have a daughter of my own. I am a mommy of a 2-year-old vibrant little girl named Nadia, as well as our host. I'm sorry about the background noise. She is reading her book, but she is content. So she is joining us this afternoon, silently a little bit on this meeting. But I work for a clothing company that you probably are all familiar with. It's Gap Inc. Brands. And I also own my own business, Cookies and Cake Inc., where I make novelty cakes, all types of sweets between dip treats and then your average customized cakes or cupcakes. So that's a new passion of mine that I developed over the last 10 years. And I've just been on and off working with it to develop it to its full potential. So that's just basically where I've been at. But it's good to, meet everyone here. For those of you joining, I'm very excited about giving input. I believe what we're speaking about today would be very important as sharing, just different experiences and knowledge with one another.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Aliyah. I am Momma Netta's youngest daughter. I also am an entrepreneur myself. I own my own company called Clutch Athletics. It is a basketball and fitness training company. With what we do here, we strive to get young athletes and even older individuals to their best fitness self and reach their goals, whether basketball goals or their overall fitness goals, and just be impactful people in the world that they live in. I have been in this business just going on my second year in April 21st. So just super excited to be a part of this talk. And again, just to give a small piece of my input to very big issues that are plaguing a lot of communities in the United States. So just happy to be here and share whatever input I have, especially with the lovely influences of my older sister and my mom.
Yes, I want to thank all three of you amazing women for coming on here onto this platform just to talk about this unique topic, which is the beauty within. As you all see, there's a lot of knowledge and passionate and caring and love here. So let's get into the topics. Now, this is ideally for teens, but to me, you might find some nuggets and some words of wisdom for young adults, even for our boys and our men. So stay tuned, check in. All right, so the first question, why do you think teens or our young ladies struggle to love themselves as is, especially nowadays?
Is that anybody's
Matriarch, go first.
question?
Yes, come on, Momma Netta with the wisdom.
My opinion is, why do I think teens struggle to accept and love themselves today? Is the strong emphasis, on our reality TV shows. With what someone is supposed to look like, You've got your long hair, your light skin, your thighs, your hips, your boobs, and all of these things have to be at a certain image in order for you to be liked. But sometimes it comes from, what's been said to them, as a young child growing up or as a young teen growing up, because we've all have compared ourselves, to our peers. When I was growing up, I struggled with self-esteem, because all of my friends, they dressed better, or, their gear was on. And if you didn't have the same clothing or even the financial quotas,
right.
Status, I'm sorry, it plays a huge part, and of course everybody wants to be on top, and it does take, a toll on how someone looks at themselves if everybody around them, they feel that they don't look as good as they do, whether it's the hair, the skin tone, the clothing, or, the monetary things. So I think that plays, a huge role in their peers and what they are being, what's being personified on these reality TV shows.
I agree. Anybody else want to piggyback onto that? Definitely agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree that, the media around us always will have an impact because it is a mirror or an attempt to be in a mirror of what society actually experiences on a day-to-day basis. I think one of the biggest, struggle for young people, I'm not getting so much younger anymore, I'm in my late 20s, but I think for teenagers, I think it's more of a lack of self-affirmation and knowing who they are before stepping into those environments. At a certain level of age, everybody has to go to school, but I think a lot of this stuff starts in the home of parents instilling in kids who they are, what qualities that they have, building that self-confidence, and not always just letting the school raise their kids or what you learn in school, and allow a teacher, not to say that those figures can't be influential and a part of, the development of a child, but I feel like in the home, a parent has to give that foundation of who they are, because social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, the things that we see from Love and Hip Hop to the Kardashians, it's in their faces all the time. So it's one, monitoring that, and two, actually giving them their self-worth. So when they step into those arenas, that you don't have to have every release date J's, and you don't have to have the BBL and the lashes and your lace front don't got to be snatched. And those things are all fine on the outside, but it's more so the inside of knowing who you are before you seek out those material things. And obviously, as teenagers, they see TikTok dances and they see trends and they follow those things to be in and to stay up on culture and be a part of the culture. But the culture should not be raising our youth of today. It should be the parents in the house, just, again, giving those words of affirmation, letting them know who they are, where they came from, giving them that sense of self-worth before entering an environment that tells them, your shoes is busted, the what are those? Just kind of building on that way. And again, it's not all on parents, but it's, again, around the circle of people that you allow your child to be exposed to. It all starts with the minuscule things that start at 6 and 7 and 5, and they begin to start forming opinions of the world, and to not know that Kim Kardashian is not the standard of woman. But your stretch marks and your acne that you're going through right now is perfectly normal. It's beautiful and it's fine. And it's more just accepting the things that they are, the things that are in their world from a young age, to start giving them that worth as teenagers, so they can have a little bit more of stability when faced with the things that culture throws, because culture is constantly changing. Trends constantly change. One thing is booming right now, Will Smith smacking Chris Rock is the big thing. I guarantee you by July, there's going to be something else.
Exactly.
So it's not to waver with culture, but to kind of stay strong on whatever foundations that are in the home.
Yes, I love that. And that tied into both of our questions, but they run into each other, and it's spot on. Tay, anything to round that up? I hope you guys are taking notes. There's a lot of knowledge being dropped right now, a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we think about, teenagers, we're thinking about an impressionable group of people. They're in that stage where they're not kids anymore, but they're not quite adults. So they're right there in that in between. They're going through a stage of trying to figure out exactly who they are and who they are going to be. And I do believe that a lot of that does begin, in the home. And it just depends on which team comes from where, if a lot of the reasons why teenagers may struggle with self-esteem issues or, self-doubt is that outside validation is a thing. If you don't have outside validation, neither inside validation, and I'm talking about within the home, then with such an impressionable group of people, you're willing to just lean to whatever with no guidance, but if you have someone, like Aliyah said, providing you with words of affirmation, constantly reminding you that you are somebody, you are lovable, and you are worthy. Self-worth definitely comes from in the home. It comes from someone acknowledging that you are this great being. You don't have to measure up to what is outside, as a standard. We have a lot of beauty standards and cultural standards that are kind of unrealistic, and unless you have millions upon millions of dollars to maintain these, outside beauty structures, come on, it's not realistic. And with an impressionable teenager where that's all you see, it's amazing how they will try to conform to look like that when your average person could never look like that unless they have the resources to do that. But then again, it's just making sure that validation inside is there. You are this, you are that, and constantly reminding, our teens that you're worthy of that. Otherwise, that's kind of what leads to, issues of self-esteem and self-worth. If it's not provided directly from someone, whether it be like a parent or, even like a close relative, we have a different formula of families nowadays. It's not always the nuclear family of mom, dad. You have a lot of aunts participating in raising kids, grandmothers. There's different people that are taking these roles over and raising children. And I just feel like that strong foundation of, family and validation for kids all through, teenage through adulthood. It's necessary. It's important. So that way they can understand the difference between who I am and then what the world has to offer. But when you're confident in what you are because it's been provided to you, you've been validated at all times, it's not going to be something that you're too impressionable by to where it takes you under and struggle with issues such as self-esteem or self-worth or, confidence or lack thereof. So I believe, it all starts within the home and who's around them. That definitely helps.
For sure. Just to piggyback off that a little bit, I have a little bit of experience coaching teenagers, and like Taya said, like, teenagers are very emotional creatures. Like, for some reason, that span between 13 and 18, everything emotionally amplified. Okay, everything it's so much more true. Things that seem minuscule to us as adults now are the biggest things in the world, and their worldview is not as zoomed out as adults may be, and it's zoomed into those, those issues of, finding friends and things of social media and experiencing your love life, whether it be whatever gender identification you go through, whatever boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you're going through, those things play a part in how teenagers kind of react to things. And just having, like Taya said, people who are, whether it be a grandmother, an aunt, an uncle, a godparent, a teacher, a coach, just somebody who sees that kind of says, I'm here and I understand those things, but also to give them that reality point. I find myself having to do that a lot with the kids that I coach. I see them, I acknowledge them where they are, where they're struggling, and let them know their world of what they're going through is important. However, there's a reality point where this might be an unattainable thing that you're experiencing. It's more so letting them be seen. And it's not by adults, because at a certain level, we're corny to teenagers. But it's to the point where somebody who's influential, whether it be somebody just a little bit older who's gotten over the hump of, that teenage experience, that, like, this is your reality. We see it, we accept it, but this is also, what reality is. These are the things that you can overcome. These are the things to look at. And it kind of builds that confidence as well. So I completely agree with you, Tay, that it takes, that village around just to give those people, not those people, but teenagers, just another outlook of how to deal with the things that they go through in their day-to-day.
Point. We'll take a small break and return with part 2.